it's kind of tough. But, somebody who's been, has a college degree, somebody who's been in the military and has an honorable discharge, there's an established, you have established background. And then the other huge thing nowadays, I guess it's always been, but nowadays especially, is drug use. You got to stay away from drugs, because some of them, especially in Arizona, some drugs, meth, I believe, which is considered a dangerous drug, LSD, acid, you take one or two times of that, and you're eliminated for life. So, not saying, obviously somebody who's looking to get in law enforcement shouldn't be smoking meth in the first place, but I'm just saying, like when they go to college or something, and if they're ever offered, just no.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So stay away from drugs, get an education, go in the military, get an honorable discharge, so forth and so on. That's good advice. Good advice. We're talking with Trooper James Casey from the Arizona Department of Public Safety. We're very grateful to have him today. If you'd like to call and speak with him, he'd love to talk to you. Phone number to call is right there on the screen. It's 503-420-4062. It's 503-420-4062. Trooper Casey, I'm going to touch on a subject that is not finished yet. Okay? It's not finished yet.
Sure.
However, it is very important because, I think a lot of people know that you were shot in the face with a .357 Magnum. I think a lot of people know that you went through an awful lot with all of that. I understand it was a traffic stop for deeply tinted windows, and all of a sudden you were shot in the face. Tell us about that, if you could, the things you can tell us, and about the road back, the recovery back. That's the piece here that really gets me because, you are a very blessed man, and I know you know that. I'm just saying that you are so blessed to be alive, being shot in the face with a gun of that caliber, but also, you came back. It didn't scare you away from the job. You came back and did it. Could you talk about the recovery and why you came back?
Sure. You want me to talk first about the stop and then go into the recovery?
Yeah, tell us what you can about the stop, and then tell us about the what you went through, all of the things, because it's an incredible story.
Sure. The stop, it was October 8th of 2014, and it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. I stopped a car for a window tint violation, which would be an equipment violation. And there was 5 people in the car. 3 females and 2 males, and through the course of my investigation, a lot of it was experience. My experience of being on the streets for as long as I had been, working patrol, and then also detective. I can't really get into too much of it because it would go into the criminal case, and I don't want to jeopardize that. But I can just tell you that. From looking inside the car, it did not look right to me, and it later proved to be. Once the case goes through, I'll be able to talk a lot more about it. I'll be able to tell all about it, and I'll understand. But it didn't look right for me, and my hunches paid off, and it was correct. Anyhow, the females all had identification. The males did not.
I see.
And the males gave me. The males were Ramon Bueno, the guy who shot me, and Danny Vargas was the other one. They gave me false names. One was deceased, and one was no record found.
Oh, my.
And, any adult in Arizona, when you come up with type it on the computer, and it comes no record found, that's a false name. Because any adult's got an ID card, et cetera.
Oh, yeah.
So when I went back to my car, I had called for backup, and I had 2 of my buddies showed up. And I explained to them I got 5 in the car. The 2 males had given me false names. So I went back to the driver's side. And that's where Bueno was sitting behind the driver's seat in the rear. And I got talking with him. And, I was basically telling him the name you're giving me is false. And just from looking him over, I could tell he had done prison time because he had prison tattoos. And so I started asking him for his DOC, Department of Corrections number. Mm. And I asked him a couple of times, and I believe it was the second time, or maybe third, when I asked him, I heard a loud explosion, and I got spun about 3/4 away, and I just remember the last thing I remember seeing was the look of my buddy who was standing at the back of the car, and he had a look of terror on his face. And then the next thing I remember is they were rolling me over, and
wow.
You know, they were telling me, "Hey, you just got shot."
Oh.
So he shot Ramon Bueno, shot me with a 357. As far as the recovery, I got very lucky in the fact that when the bullet hit, it hit directly on my left cheekbone. So when the bullet hit my left cheekbone, it shattered. The bullet and my cheekbone shattered. That night, I was in 2 surgeries over 9 hours. I know the doctor that I talked to, I actually became good friends with because I saw him so many times. But he told me that one of the bullets, and I still have a picture, one of the bullets severed my maxillary artery, and on the picture you can see it it's just at the edge of the carotid artery. So as he said, had that gone and I'm talking fractions of I don't even know what kind of measurement it would be, not even an inch, but just beyond, just so small. Had it gone just that much, the inch further, I would have bled out on scene, so it severed my carotid artery.
Wow.
Wow. He told me they had a hard time controlling the bleed from the maxillary artery, so I was close to a blood transfusion, but I didn't need one. They were able to control it. So I know that day, or that night, I was in the hospital for about a week, and I know it was, my face was just, it was, so when I left the hospital after a week, the surgery started when, about a week after, when I was out, I remember I was watching football on Sunday night, and my left eye started feeling somebody was trying to push it out of my head. What happened was I had bullet fragments in both eyes, and they were starting to make their way towards the cornea. So had I not caught that, I probably would have gone blind, especially my left eye, because I think they pulled about 4 or 5 fragments out of that eye.
Wow.
And then, all in all, it was about 15 to 17 procedures. They had to rebuild my whole left nose, nasal area. Let's see what else. And then when part of the bullet when it broke off the bone, it blew out the top left part of my teeth. And it put a hole in my jaw, or the roof of my mouth, the palate. And it was large enough that a golf ball could fit through it, and you could see the bottom of my orbital bone. And that was the worst surgery. That was by far the worst surgery, because because the thing is on the left side of my face, I have titanium plate. I don't have bone. So they couldn't drill dentures in. So that's why I had to have like a denture plate, because there's just no way they could put it to fix those teeth. But they had to graft skin from the right to the left, and it took 155 stitches to close. And it was an outpatient surgery. I wasn't in the hospital, so I couldn't sip water for 4 days afterwards. It was, oh my God, that hurt so bad.
No way. No. Hold on a second. We're on the phone here with Trooper James Casey. Now, hold on a second. This was an outpatient surgery?
Yeah. That was. Yeah, they would have grabbed the skin. Oh my God. I told Dr. Burrow was my oral maxillofacial surgeon that did that. I told him afterwards, I said, if I need this ever again, it's going to be an inpatient. There's no way. I'll pay out of pocket. There's no way I would do that. Because it was, like I said, it hurt to sip water. It hurt so bad. You think about you get wisdom teeth out, you get a couple of stitches. You know how bad that hurts.
Sure.
That's not. And then add 155 stitches to that, it was brutal. That was the worst.
Oh, brother, I can't imagine that. Oh, wow. So there was a long period of time as well. We're on the phone, by the way, folks, with Trooper James Casey from the Arizona Department of Public Safety. James, you had a long period where you couldn't even eat solid foods, didn't you?
3 months, correct. Yeah, I would. I had more Pedialyte and Ensure than you could shake a stick at. Yeah, because I couldn't. The thing is, with the hole in my mouth, and then with having basically no left side of my nose, I had to. I couldn't eat because, for one, they didn't want food getting up in that area, and two, even when I would drink the Pedialyte or the Ensure, I had to tilt my head because it would start running down the left side of my nose. The right side of my nose because the left was gone, just because of that hole. So
wow, wow,
yeah, it was.
So how long how long were you off work at that point? How long were you?
Oh, I was out of work for I believe it was about a year and a half.
My goodness,
just shy of a year and a half. Yeah, it was a lot of recovery, a lot of surgery.
How many do you remember? I mean, because you have had so many, obviously, to rebuild something so significant. Do you know how many surgeries you've had total to get yourself to where you are now?
Yeah, 15.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. We were on the phone. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
If you see, like, a lot of times, not a lot of times, but all the time, if on the show, I've had people ask me a lot. I have that scar that's on my forehead that goes right down. Okay, that was excuse me, Dr. Bennett, Tucson, great doctor, great plastic surgeon. What happened was, so he basically did a facelift on my forehead and had to bring it was like a stock that came out down through my left eye. And I had to, and it looked like a cylinder, and he attached it to my nose. And I had to wear that and that was, I believe that was like 5 or 6 surgeries all in a total. But I had to wear that for 90 days, and what it was doing is it created a blood supply to the left side of my nose. Left side of my face. Like I said, I have titanium. I don't have bones, so there's no blood going in there. So I had to do that to create a blood supply. The reason he did that is because from that, he constructed a left nostril, and he used the back of my ear to create. The left side of my nose, and then he used the back of my ear to create the nostril. So it's great work, But yeah, it was a long recovery, a lot of surgery.
I'm sitting with my mouth wide open, and not because I'm hungry. Wow. My goodness, man. So you really went through an awful lot. You couldn't eat solid foods for a long time. You went through 15 surgeries. I mean, you went through hell, okay? To be honest,
yeah,
I mean, that's,
pretty much.
Hell on earth is what you faced. Now, my question
but
is...
you know what, though?
But
you know what, though? I know that, and I've heard that, but... and I do agree, it was painful. But you know what? I always said it could have been, obviously it could have been worse. I could have been paralyzed. I could have lost my vision.
Yep.
So.
Good way to think.
That's what I guess. I always kept thinking it could have been worse. So that's where my mindset was. It could have been worse.
And that's a good attitude, because if you hold on to that through life, you'll find the glass is usually half full, and you think positive thoughts. I believe you.
And the thing is, for me, that's different, because being a street cop, I'm always the glass is half empty type.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for that. So.
Well, what I like about this is the perseverance that you had to continue. But what I really want to know is, well, so what made you come back after all that? I mean, you went through heck, basically. You get all these surgeries done and go through all this pain, all this physical therapy, all this rehabilitation, all this, and then you came back. Why?
Well, I did for 2 reasons. One is, obviously, like I said, I didn't lose any of my faculties, so I was, that was the big one, obviously. But as I said in many interviews done, and I've told many people, I grew up very competitive. My brother and I, in sports, and I did not like losing, and I did not want him to beat me. And, I wanted to go back, and I wanted him to know, that, you tried, you lost, and you failed. So, I went back.
I wish I had more people here to clap with me right now because I am truly inspired, man. I am truly inspired by what you said. And I think more people need to hear that. If when you get tired of, being in the work you're doing now with the office, you should go into public speaking because you'd be a great motivational speaker with what you've been through. You're a person that looks at things not cynically, but looks at things from a perspective saying, okay, could have been worse, but there was no way I was going to let that guy beat me. No way. And that's really cool, man. I mean, that's old school stuff. So, man, I dig that. We can end the interview right now. That's fine. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm just kidding. That's a great story. What speaking of like, things now, everybody has heroes growing up, right? Who did you look up to when you were a kid? Who were some of your heroes?
I would have to say, like, we're so into sports, so I was always like old school Astros or Oilers.
Okay.
Like Nolan Ryan. I mean, that's he's a legend as an Astro.
Can I tell you something?
Oilers. I always Earl Campbell. The Yellow Rose or the Yellow Rose. Tyler Rose.
Dan Pastorini.
Warren Moon.
Yep.
He was a great quarterback. And then I can't leave out my Rockets. When Olajuwon,
Yep.
Drexler, when they won the championship those 2 years.
Yep.
So in sports, I was definitely sports. They
That's
were.
cool.
Sports were a big part of growing up for me.
That's pretty cool stuff. It really is. Little story for you. I get to share a little story with you. I was at Nolan Ryan's last game. I was at the Kingdom.
Nice.
I was at the Kingdom the night that he blew his arm out, and the place went absolutely dead silent. I mean, it was like, it was so eerie how you have all those people, and it's quiet, and then as they bring him off the field, I mean, they roared, and to the point. I mean, this guy's injured, right? He comes back out and does the curtain call because the people are, they're all clapping so much. No, I've got an autograph from Nolan Ryan baseball about 25 feet from me. He's one of my heroes, as well as Cal Ripken Jr. because of his old school play.
Yeah, another one.
Yeah.
And I'll give you one. I'll give you a little history or a little trivia on that for me.
Yeah.
The first ever game my parents took me and my brother, and this was kind of cool on that. The first ever game my parents took me and my brother, Ken Forsch threw a no-hitter against the Atlanta Braves. That was like years ago.
Wow.
So in my baseball, I've been to 3 no-hitters. I was at the Ken Forsch no-hitter when he beat the Braves. I was at the one Mike Scott threw against the Giants when they clinched the division. And then I was at the one when Nolan Ryan beat the Dodgers and no-hit them. So I've seen Nolan Ryan no-hitter too.
Well, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to board a flight to Phoenix, and we're going to see a D-backs game, okay? And because you're lucky for no-hitters, I've never seen one. And I really, truly, I'm a big baseball guy. I mean, I love baseball. So for me, I'm a big baseball guy. And gosh, man, it's so rare to see no-hitter. And you've seen 3 of them. My goodness gracious. Holy cow. What are some of the hobbies you like to do when you're off duty? I mean, what kind of things you do to unwind?
I usually, when I'm off, I usually will, I try to every day go, we have, there's canals and there's bike trails, so it's usually 20 miles. So I try to every day bike my, the 20 miles on the canal, plus I can work on a tan. Especially working graveyard shifts. I don't want to look like a ghost. you know, and then I go to the gym and lift weights 3 days a week.
Okay.
So, you know, and the big thing I've done, and I'm really proud of myself, is, and I don't think I'd ever do this, but I have tried to eliminate soda. I got really bad about drinking a lot of soda, especially sugary drinks. So I limit it to 1 or 2 at most a day now. And I was just yesterday, since January when I started that, I've almost lost 20 pounds just eliminating soda.
Congratulations!
You know, I was drinking no, thanks. I was drinking like 7 or 8 a day. Yeah, I know, you know, and you know, I guess when you're a teenager, I mean, you shouldn't do it at all, but I guess, you know, when you're a teenager, it doesn't really affect you. But, you know, when you get my age, I mean, that's not good. You know, my doctor was always on me about, you got to quit soda. And so I finally did.
Oh,
you know?
Congratulations, my friend. That's good stuff.
Thanks.
You know, I went to what is it? The Powerade stuff, like the Gatorade stuff. You know, I kind of went over that direction, but I do applaud you because that's hard, especially if you're on a lot of caffeine. You get the caffeine headaches. Once you get through all that, you're fine. But wow, you know, your story about the recovery, it's amazing to me. Your level of just grit. Now, there's a wonderful person here who came on, Kay Westerhouse, and said, "We miss you so much on Live PD." I think that's something you could respond to. You know, she says, "Oh my gosh, I'm a diet soda junkie, LOL." So, okay, there's some sicker people saying that, but you know, there's so.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, they miss you. They miss you.
I'm glad you brought that up about my recovery because there was one time, and it was back last summer. And I know Live PD has picked up a lot of new viewers, and some of them don't remember us from season 1. So, you know, but this is, when they see, like, replays, and this is one of the ones I always, and it kind of went along the bullying line that I was really, and I have to say, I was actually impressed. I was happy because Dan Abrams retweeted. So one night one afternoon, it was a Friday night, and we were live, and I think it was a car chase. As a matter of fact, I know it was a car chase. I wasn't chasing it, but I was paralleling it in case the person bailed out. Well, as a result, one of the side effects of being shot is on the left side of my face is I have a severe nerve damage. Like, I don't feel some parts of by the left side of my nose. So what happens is, occasionally, it's usually every 6 to 8 weeks, it's weird, it will start itching for no reason. And the doctors have deemed it like phantom limb syndrome. There's nothing I can do. I've had shots, I've had laser. There's nothing I can do. The nerves are just, they never regenerate, and they just, so I itch. And I've learned to rub, because if I itch, I'll tear my face apart. So I've learned to rub.
Oh, boy.
Anyhow, so one night, after that call, and I remember we were going there, and I must have been working my face over good, and, you know, and it's something that I don't consciously think of because this happens, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Sure.
Anyhow, I got my phone, I picked up my phone, and it was going off, and people were like, "Oh man, you're getting, you know, lambasted on Twitter." And I looked, and there were people saying, like, "Oh, I was a former cocaine addict, and, you know, they need to go drug test him immediately." And, you know, and I have to say, most stuff does not bother me, you know, but for somebody to say that to me, I was mad. And, you know, and I actually responded. I said, "Hey, I'm not on cocaine, and I don't take drugs. It's the result of being shot." And Dan Abrams actually retweeted that out, and I thought that was really cool of him to do. Because,
absolutely.
You know,
it was the right thing to do.
I can see, absolutely, and I can see where people, you know, and I guess that's where I really saw where social media, and you could see where the bullying could really. Because, you know, I could see at least 3 or 4 people adding on to that. And I was just thinking to myself, yeah, I know, you know, we're all aware in social media, there's keyboard tough guys everywhere. So,
You know, my friend, we could talk for hours right now. We could. But, you know, you've got a dog in the background that loves you and family and all that. And, Yeah, I agree. You know, social media is interesting because it's very helpful, I think, to get news and information out. You know, if there's something important going on, man, it goes like that fast, right?
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you know, if one person says that this person is bad or whatever, then 2 or 3 people say that person is bad too. Now it's a big conspiracy. That person is bad. And it's like, you don't even know the person. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just, it's hilarious to me how social media, it can be so, I guess, so personal. And I don't think people understand. Let me tell you a quick story. And this was in my youth ministry career, all right? I'd ask my kids, now this is, you know, hundreds of kids that I taught, would you rather be kicked in the shin with a steel-toed cowboy boot by a muscle-bound athlete, or would you rather be told something really hurtful? Every kid answered the question the same way. They'd rather be kicked in the shin. And the reason why is because the pain goes away. But a really hurtful word stays with you for a long time. And, you know, I think that people, there's a certain, and you know, anonymity, you know, they're anonymous, they're hiding behind a computer, it's easy to do this, whatever. That happens, I think, and it's unfortunate it happens. But you know what I think is interesting is that there's a lot of good there too. There's so many good people. And, you know, like you know, you are a wonderful guy, and, you know, I think that, you know, you're a, see you later, my friend, God bless you, but I'm just sick of people is leaving, so she's sick of us. But anyway, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's good people too, and for example, David Moreno said something so wonderful on Monday after you hung up. He said, you know, I look back and I think of this, I wouldn't have any of these friendships without Live PD. I wouldn't know these people.
True.
And, and he was so honored. I mean, truly happy about that, you know. That's the kind of friends you...
Well, it's cool. Yeah, it's true. It's true. David's right. He's great. I mean, I posted a picture, and because of the show, I never would have met. I met the Lucas Law Firm, Donovan and Mary Kay Lucas from Utah Highway Patrol. They were in Arizona, Chandler last summer, and I met them. So that was really cool. We got to talk and
great.
Meet each other. So
wow.
You know, it's. Oh, and then getting back to your question, I'm sorry, because I know I.
That's all right.
Anybody that knows me, I'll start with one thing, and then by the time it's all said and done, I'll be on 15 other things.
I'll get you back on it. It's okay, buddy. You're all right. Keep going.
You have to rein me in.
That's all right.
The reason we're not on live PD anymore, that question you asked was, that was and I know I read a lot of it on Twitter about why did A&E, it's not A&E that decided that. It was our department, the Arizona DPS. That was a decision made by them. And as I've said to others, why it was made, I don't know. Those were made by my bosses, and I generally don't make it a habit to question my boss's decisions. You know, maybe some people do. I prefer not to because I'd rather stay on their good side than their bad. So
exactly right, man. Yeah, exactly. So Utah does the same thing. I mean, Slidell is now going to be doing that. I mean, it happens. People come and go. But you know, departments have come and go as well. And, you know, I think what people need to remember is you guys were there before Live PD was there. And you had a job to do before Live PD was there. And your job is your primary focus. That's what you're supposed to do. Not entertain people on Friday and Saturdays. I mean, it's about doing your job.
Yeah. And, you know, it's funny you say that because I get that a lot now when I'm, you know, especially in uniform, but even out of uniform, I'll have people they'll approach me and be like, what's it like being a celebrity? And I'm like, I'm not a celebrity, I'm a cop. You know, it's because of social media. You know, I mean, do I like the notoriety? You know, absolutely.
Sure.
You know, and it's, you know, and it's funny because as I've said to people before, I enjoy it because it's kind of it's really, and I don't remember who said it before, a celebrity, actual celebrity, not me, but they said it's really, it's funny because with it, as I've told people, I think part of it too is you have to get the right person, because sometimes like people will approach me and I can be at my absolute worst day. You know, like I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to, but you know, they approach me and I see they're happy. They're like, hey, you know, they're very friendly with me.
Sure.
And I'll change my persona. You know, instead of being mad or, you know, I don't take it out of them, because I realize it's like, you know, these people are happy and I think it's cool. So I've taken thousands of selfies. I've shook hands, you know. Never had an autograph. I saw that on Twitter. Somebody asked me about getting autographs, and I've never given an autograph.
Well, yeah, you do actually. In every citation you write. I mean, think about that.
I'm not a big ticket writer. Right
no, I'm just kidding.
I'm not a big ticket writer.
Let me tell you a story.
I'm looking for the worst.
I'll tell you a funny story. Danny Brown, actually, you know, I don't think it was Danny, told me the story that somebody actually asked him to do that so he'd have his autograph. I mean, now think about that. That's crazy. Anyway, I cut you off. I'm sorry about that. Go right ahead, Jim.
I was just saying, yeah, no, I'm not a big writer either. I usually, like I said, on the midnight shift, the graveyard shift, I'm looking for the worst of the worst, you know, or DUIs. I'm not looking to write speeding tickets on midnight shift. There's more criminal activity than, you know, ticket-worthy things.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know, now when you came back to the department, you changed roles, though, right?
I did. I was in Special Investigations SIU for about a year, and then I just didn't. I thought it was going to be a lot like when I was a city cop or a city detective, where it was more criminal activity. But they do SIU does do criminal activity, but a lot of it focuses too on. They'll also do a lot of administrative stuff for smaller agencies or state agencies. Like they'll do their internal affairs. You know, it's a smaller agency, and basically, it just wasn't really what I wanted. I wanted more criminal, and that wasn't really. So I did the year, and then I asked to get out, and I did. Like I said, I did about 6 weeks, I believe, 4 to 6 weeks in backgrounds while I was waiting to get back on the patrol, and then I got back into patrol.
Good for you. Good for you. You know, I love that because, you know, you came back to where you started. You know what I mean? I mean, we got tons of hearts flowing on the page right now because you came back to where your roots were. And what I love about that is the dude that shot you, okay, that's the slap right there. You know what, dude? You lost because I'm back. I'm not only back at work, but I'm back on the streets. And I'm putting people away. And I think, you know what, that's wonderful what you're doing because you're an inspiration to an awful lot of people. And I think because of that, the cool thing is that people hear your story. And I'm telling you seriously, man, knowing from doing a lot of public speaking stuff, you got a career in the future if you want it. That's for sure. Hey, you're welcome.
Let me just say this. I do appreciate that. The one thing I have to say when you said I went back to patrol, the one thing, and I think this is the one biggest thing that I would tell any patrol officer about to get into a detective unit, a drug unit, gang unit, all that. I got these words of advice, and I always live by them. And unfortunately, a lot of officers don't. Is one of the old school detectives back in Pittsfield, when I got promoted up into the detective bureau, he said to me, "Don't ever forget where you came from," meaning patrol. And unfortunately, that's not. You know, a lot of men and a lot of people that get into detective or into a special assignment, they forget they weren't, you know, that all of a sudden patrol's not the cool thing anymore. They're the greatest things in sliced bread. And that, I always remember, you're a patrol officer first, you know, so that's what I always tell the newer ones who are getting promoted. Don't forget where you came from.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
So.
You know, and that's something, you know, it's interesting you bring that up, Trooper, Casey, because that's what I raised my son that way. I do. In fact, I have a sign. In fact, it's funny. Golly, man, you and Moreno, gosh, you guys have a lot in common. I have a sign that it's it's like one of those decorative signs in your house, and it's like only about maybe an inch high, maybe an inch and a half high, and it says, "Don't ever forget where you came from." And it's so important because where you came from is who you are. I mean, that's kind of like, the environment that the people you stay with is going to be the environment and the person you're going to be. That, your top 5 people you hang out with the most is going to be the attitude you most likely carry. I mean, those are just normal personality issues. But what I like about you is that you went through literally all these surgeries, all this recovery, all this pain, and you came back. And you came back because you were competitive enough to say, look, I nearly lost my life. I'm lucky to have my eyesight. Now, I read the article. I read about your shooting, and your ears were ringing for how long? I mean, ringing bad. Not just like our ears ring. Sometimes your ears were really ringing. How long was that going on for you?
When I was out from being shot?
Yep.
Well, I mean, I was out for, like I said, I was out for 18 months, but I mean, I still.
Oh, no. The question I asked you, I'm sorry, let me rephrase it. I read the article about your shooting and about, what happened to you, and it talked about your, how much your ears were ringing, and for how, it was quite a long time.
My left ear, I suffered some pretty significant hearing loss on my left ear. It still rings. As I said before, it's calmed down because they said it would. And it's calmed down, but it'll always ring for the rest of my life. Tinnitus, I believe they call it.
Yes, tinnitus. Yep, tinnitus. Yep.
But
wow.
if you ever remember, like when I was growing up, going to a concert, and and the next day when you're in high school and you can barely hear because your ears are ringing, it's so loud. The night before in the concert, that's what my left ear was like.
Wow.
For probably 6 months. Yeah.
Oh.
I had a real hard time, and it was tough because at the time, my youngest son, Brandon, his voice hadn't changed. It hadn't gotten deeper. So I had a really, really hard time.
Hearing him.
I mean, I'd almost have to lean. Yeah, I had to lean in and hear him because it was so high pitched. I could not hear what he was saying.
Oh wow. Oh my goodness.
And theoretically, and to make a joke, I'm supposed to wear hearing aids, because of my hearing, but I just feel they make me age worse. They make me age more than I already am, so I don't wear them. And as I joke about, sometimes I have to ask, I'll say like, what? Like I didn't understand what they said. Not that I wasn't paying attention, I just don't understand. And I figure if they say, never mind, it wasn't important to begin with. So I didn't miss anything.
Hey, you just saved some time, right? Look, you just got 3 or 4 minutes left of your life that you didn't have before if you had that conversation. See, you're fun. You know what? I've enjoyed this. This has been a real treat for me. You're a wonderful man, a great storyteller, and you've got a great story. I don't know how you can top what you've been through, but do you still have any goals in life? Like, goals you'd like to accomplish? Anything, even if it's small, like getting a 65 Peugeot. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, what kind of goals do you have, Trooper Casey?
I guess my kids to be successful would be the number one goal. I guess retirement in one piece would be the second, and then I think everybody's goal to win the lottery. So, that way, if I won it, I guess that accomplishes both my other goals.
That's true. That's very true. Great story. Wow, great story. Now, Arizona, you got 2 different seasons there, right? You got snowbird season, you got the monsoons and the hot summertime. What are there really any differences between the two in terms of traffic and things that you deal with on the roads?
Not so much me, because I work night shift.
Right, that makes sense.
Snowbirds are, they're in bed by the time I come on. I do notice during the winter, and you know what's funny is where you notice it more is in the grocery stores or at the pharmacy. You know, because it'll be, you know, where during the summertime, I can walk up, let's say if I need to get a prescription filled, I can walk up and there'll be like one or two people, where during the winter months when the snowbirds are here, you walk up and there'll be 5 or 6 people waiting.
Sure.
And they're usually elderly.
Yep.
So, you know, but hey, I don't, you know, to be honest with you, I don't blame them. I've said that. That's one thing I definitely, retiring, I don't mind the winter months here are great, but the summer I'd like to go somewhere else, you know, when I'm able to retire.
You know what's funny is that a lot of people don't realize that about Arizona. They don't realize that your summer is our winter. I mean, for the northern states, your summer is our winter. That's when you stay indoors. That's when you don't go outside.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you pretty much stay indoors.
Well, I do. I'm in the pool.
But yeah. You know what I'm saying, though. I mean, you're not out like riding your bike or whatever so much when it's 115 outside. You know, I mean, it's just and then the monsoons hit. It makes things worse. It's humid, but if there's anybody out there who's never been to Arizona, and I've got to tell you, I've been to quite a few states in my life. I've been blessed to, and I want to make sure that's word is said. I've been blessed to go to them. Arizona has got to be one of the most beautiful states. I could retire in Arizona with no problem. And I know that my knees would feel better and my back would probably feel better because it's a dry climate. It's phenomenal. It is a beautiful, beautiful place. And if you think Arizona is just desert, no way. I mean, it is so diverse. You go up to Flagstaff and you'll believe you are in the mountains of Colorado. It is just phenomenal, the difference. So, you know, it is a beautiful, beautiful state. You know, could you tell us, Trooper Casey, what kind of crimes are you seeing more often now that are on the rise there in the areas that you patrol?
I would say drugs are always. See, it's tough because that's kind of for me, that's for being like highway patrol or state police, it's a tough thing because the city cop would be, or like county, if they cover the unincorporated areas of the city, they would be able to answer that better because, you know, they're going to deal more with property crimes and stuff like that. Domestics.
Right.
Yeah, for us, it's, I guess, to answer that from a highway patrol perspective, wrong way drivers, DUI wrong way drivers have been a menace out here. We just had one, I think, the beginning of this week, heading out towards, we were just left in Maricopa, no, actually it was Rick Road, so it was Maricopa County, but it was heading out towards Maricopa. A lady went wrong way, but I don't know I don't think they had the toxicology back if there was any impairment involved. I wasn't there, so I can't answer on that, but she wound up going head on and killing a mother of 2 small children and injuring the kids and the father. So.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah. So those are DUIs, and you know, and see, here's the thing that's funny. Not funny like but funny when I especially younger DUI arrestees that I've talked to in the past. You know, because I'll get the, you know, oh, you ruined my life. And it's like, well, I didn't ruin anything. I mean, I didn't pour the drinks down your throat. You did. I didn't.
That's right.
I'm just dealing with it. And what they don't realize is, and I try to explain this to them, is in Arizona, if you get DUI and you hit somebody with a car or a pedestrian, you kill them, it's second-degree murder. It's not, you know, you get punished heavily, and you should. And what I try to explain to them, and especially in Phoenix areas we work, you get, and I say this, and people think it's like I'm making a joke of it, but I'm not. Let's say, you know, you're DUI and you're driving, and a tweaker, someone high on meth, and hasn't slept in 2 weeks or 10 days, and they think people are chasing them because they're paranoid, they're delusional from the drug use, and they run out, and I've had that happen to me in patrol cars, where you're driving and all of a sudden someone will run across the street for no reason, you know, and then, I mean, by the time you gather yourself, they're long gone. And I try to tell these people, if you hit and kill that person, that's second-degree murder.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You had, and so I try to educate them.
Wow.
You hit somebody in a car and injure them, it's aggravated assault. You're doing prison time. You know, you're doing prison time, and that's what I tell them. So, yeah, DUIs, wrong way driving, drugs will always be meth, heroin, you know.
Yep. No, I understand. It sounds to me like you're pretty much the same as everybody else. I mean, you know, that seems to be the same strand that carries, you know, everywhere, from talking to Corey King in Kentucky, who's not on live PD, all the way to you and Deputy McElwain and Deputy Brukowitz. I mean, you know, all of you guys. I'm sorry, I said Deputy Lieutenant Brukowitz. You know, they all say the same thing. It's drugs, and it's how it's laced with fentanyl or something else, you know, and how things are being done. But you guys have a different world down there, because you're also dealing with a lot of people that are entering the country illegally, and you're dealing with street gangs, drug cartels, and your hands are full sometimes. I mean, I can't say enough about the Arizona Department of Public Safety, how much you guys do to protect your citizens. It is a yeoman's share, sir, and I want to thank you for your time and service in that.
Oh, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Hey, could you tell us real quick about Trooper Casey? We're on the phone here with Trooper James Casey, about any community service stuff you like doing or your department really gets behind.
Yeah. Well, as far as as far as my department, I don't know, because we have a unit. It was the PIO, Public Information, but they call it the TAU. I don't know. There's another. They renamed it, but they do that kind of the community stuff. I'm not, I'm not in that unit, so I don't know what they do. So I would not be speaking educated about what they do. As far as what I do, I have coached youth sports, baseball, football. I have tutored and I've mentored high school and college students before. I have done, public speaking stuff for when I'm asked to do it. I've read to elementary school kids.
Good for you, buddy.
Pretty much, anytime, and that even just so much as in something that's not even recognized. Well, two things. One, Twitter. I've had people send me direct message, and obviously I can't respond to all of them because sometimes it's just overwhelming. But the ones that I've read, sometimes I've read some people that have had issues, and they've asked me for just my opinion,
mm-hmm.
and then come back. And then the other one too is I've had other officers who have been shot. And I've had family members or them themselves actually reach out to me and ask me questions about what I went through, what to expect. So that has been the best part of it.
Wow.
And that's one thing. I had to say, that is one thing, live PD, that I really, really, really enjoyed about it was the amount of officers and or family members who have reached out to me from it, that they have or their loved ones have been shot, and they ask me what to expect, what kind of road to recovery. And it's funny because it's not funny, but the overwhelming thing is they all want to get back as quick as possible, and I tell them I was the same way. You want to get back, but you just got to pump the brakes and just let nature take its course. You'll get back.
Yep, exactly right. And a lot of times people don't like to be patient, like me. Okay, no, so I'm just being honest.
I'm the same way. I want to buy this deep pass to the lines at the amusement park. I don't want to wait in line.
There you go. There you go. Exactly right. Hey, there's a question that we've been blessed to ask every officer we've had, and we're at that point now. I'm skipping to some questions because I don't want to keep you forever here.
Go ahead.
Is there anyone in particular that you would like to meet, living or dead? Who would it be? We're with Trooper James Casey of the Arizona Department of Public Safety.
Anybody?
Living or dead? They could spend an hour with.
Man, that's a good question. I don't know. I guess I've never really
thought of that one.
Never really thought about that.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
That
is from Lieutenant Dan's Crazy Crew. That is from Danny Brown's Twitter fan club there here on Twitter, and that was something she had sent in. I thought it was just a great question, and we've asked everybody that question. So you're now part of the fraternity.
I guess I would like to. I can't think of any offhand, but like a pro athlete, or I did meet at one time at Billings, Montana Airport. I met Vince Neil, lead singer of Motley Crue.
Did you really?
So, that was kind of cool. Yeah. Just to, hear the stories where that was, that would be, that would be pretty cool. Or, I did talk to him for a little bit, but it was, just to hear those guys, like an athlete, a rock star. I think that would be cool, just to hear what their lifestyle was like.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Could you imagine? I mean, that's... you're talking about people. That's me too. While we play a little more Dr. Feelgood for you here,
Yeah.
By the way, now, folks, as you know on the show, we always ask the people we interview what they would like to start the show with. Now, in your case, it was Dr. Feelgood. Okay. I got to tell you, I'm glad you picked it because I love the song. It's got an excellent intro. It's perfect to I'm an old radio guy, okay? So it's got great posts in it, and you can hit them, and the vocals are 56, just in case you're wondering, okay? You might not be, but because I'm an old radio guy, on the video that I did, 56 seconds in, but you got to subtract 24 from that. So basically, I'm at 32 seconds into it for the vocals. Thank you for picking that song, dude. That's an excellent song. And I've always liked it.
Yeah, when you asked me, I had to tell you, when you asked me, I don't remember. No, I think I said, because somebody asked me once, like during a pursuit, what song would be. Somebody sent me that what song, and I was thinking, "Kickstart My Heart." But then I was like, and when you asked me that, I listened to it, and I was like, that's not a good intro song because it's just too fast right at the beginning. So I went through a few songs, and then when I was like, Dr. Feelgood would be good because the intro's nice, So thanks, I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's a great.
I think thought is what I'm saying.
Great song. I had Corporal Cragmile, who's on the show for Greene County. He actually has relatives who played with Johnny Cash. Okay, so a lot of his family is in entertainment. So, it was interesting to talk to him about his selections, too. I always love to ask about the music. And, since you just mentioned Vince Neil, there we are. We got to play it again or talk about it. Trooper Casey, it has been truly an honor. It's been a gift. It's been a blessing. I thank you for your time. I'd like to ask you one final thing. Is there anything you would like Live PD Nation to know? Because while there's not a ton of people that are in the interview right now, it's a Saturday afternoon. People are doing yard work. They're at the store. They're shopping. It's their day off. I get it. But there are hundreds of people who are going to see this interview, all right? What would you like them to be left with from you?
Okay, this is going to be the... I'll start a movement. We're going to... especially after the trial, to get back. They said they're going to bring me back for my other show, so we'll start that. So one more time in the studio. It'll be my swan song, because I don't see us coming back. Or in DPS, I just don't see it. So I think especially after the trial, because, and this is what I've always said, I think it would be good to go back into the studio, explain everything about that. Because right now I can speak to academy classes, and there is stuff that I think people could learn, officers especially could learn on that. And, and that way it kind of, my thought is I let everybody into my life with that thing. I believe I'm the only officer on that show that's ever been shot. Not that I wear that as a badge of honor, but, and I think it would be come full circle to close it all out, especially to say, he's doing X number of years, this is what happened, and, then just sit back and enjoy it, watch the show.
You know, I got to tell you, I think that the people of Live PD Nation would love that. They would love that, but they would like it to be more than just one show. I think they want the whole weekend with you. You know,
Oh yeah, that's what. Yeah.
You know what I mean? What I'm saying?
I know.
I know you got robbed on the one because of the blackout, but you know, you're a fascinating person to talk to. You've got great stories. You're intelligent. You're funny. I mean, you got the whole package.
Thanks.
You're welcome. And I think the thing that's really cool is you're very inspiring. That's something that's a rare quality in our world today. Someone who's very inspiring based on their life experience, not based on their ability to read well or inflect their voice, but based on what they know.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's you. So I'm really impressed, and you're very welcome. If there's anybody that wants to call in real quick to talk with Trooper Casey, say hello. The number's 503-420-4062. It's been on the screen now for the whole interview. However, I know there's lots of people out that are doing their Saturday things before Live PD tonight. Again, one of the things I want to make sure you all understand here, we've been talking to Trooper James Casey from the Arizona Department of Public Safety. It's not Live PD or A&E that basically pulled the plug on Arizona being on. It's not them that said Trooper Casey can't be on the show. It's not it.
Not at all.
This was the folks in Arizona looking at the situation and saying, look, you know what? We need to focus on our police work. And that's it. And you know what?
Let me say, I don't know. Like I said before, because I know people said, well, they pulled, I don't know. That was a decision made, like I said earlier, that was a decision made by the bosses.
Yep. Okay.
I don't.
And you don't argue with the bosses. You want to keep your job.
I would be lying to say I was disappointed. I mean, yeah, of course, I love doing the show. It was fun. And as I said before, and I've said to many people, the one thing that I loved about that show is it showed people that we're just human too. Plus the other thing too is I also tell people I use that show when I go and speak to academy classes to kind of especially some of those young stallions that want to go out there and light the world on fire. I tell them to pull the reins back. You don't always have to hammer everybody. Especially for us on highway code, a traffic stop. You're not going to get a raise if you write. They call it 5-packing, where if you get 5 violations, that our tickets you can put up to 5 violations, and and I tell people you're not going to get any more money. You're not going to get a commendation if you write a bunch of tickets, and sometimes you have to stop and think about. This is what I tell them. Sometimes you have to stop and think about, that family or those, there's people that deserve tickets. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you know it, I know it, we all know it. But there's sometimes, you see, there's families that, you write, 3-4 citation or offenses to them and, $1,500. I mean, $1,500 to them could be like writing me a $15,000 ticket. That's more than, and that's what I try to tell them. Just pull the reins back, kind of look at the whole situation. And that's what I liked about the show, because it shows, especially the other officers too, in the same way. You don't have to, we're all people, and you don't have to hammer everybody you come across. There's no need for that.
Well, I think that's probably the thing that showed the most with you on the show was your level of discernment. Your discernment was very, very strong, and you can tell that that was probably drilled into you at a very young age. That you learned, you had a good family, and they raised you right. So,
thanks.
You're welcome. You're very welcome, truly. It is, honestly, it's been an honor. Trooper Casey, we have been thrilled to have you. I do want to pass along something to you, just to keep in your hip pocket. Pinal County, on the first weekend in June, is doing a big live PD party, like a Crime Stoppers type party. And Sheriff Lamb was interested in maybe talking to you about coming over there. So I thought I'd just let you know about that. And,
no, I appreciate that. I will reach out to him.
Yep.
I have Deputy McElwain's number, but I will reach out. Yeah, that would be great, because I would definitely talk. Yeah, okay. I'll definitely reach out to him. I would love to do something like that.
See, when you said about how, that you miss it, and you enjoyed it, I think that, that was enough for me just to say, I'll just spill the beans and tell you, because I think that they'd like to get some people together for this and make sure the folks of Arizona, get a chance to I believe, properly honor you. Probably take a whole bunch of selfies with you and, have you sign a few things. So, good for you.
Yeah,
good for
I would love to do that. If you would, if you direct message me that when we're done, so I I can write on the calendar. That'd be great.
Yep, I will.
Yeah, because I would talk to him because that would be something where, and this is just by my nature, I'll talk to him first because I would never want to go over and step on their toes, and you know what I mean. But if they invited me, sure, I would gladly do that with it. But I would just never show. I'd never want to step on anybody's toes.
Well, I'll tell you what, that would be fantastic. I'll make sure that I get you that information. Well, Live PD Nation, you're very welcome. And no, thank you. Thank you for taking a Saturday out to give a guy in Oregon a phone call to talk about Live PD on Twitter. That's kind of the world we're in right now. And I'm grateful that you did it. I really am. And I hope you had a good time.
I did. Appreciate that.
Good. Well, we had a wonderful time with you as well. Trooper James Casey from the Arizona Department of Public Safety. And I'll tell you what, there are lots of people who are saying they miss you and they love you.
I miss them too.
There you go.
The feeling's mutual. The feeling's mutual.
There you go, folks. So it is a mutual feeling of being missed. So we will be back next week. Should be somebody from Pasco. I haven't got the for sure okie dokie yet, but we will for sure let you folks know about that. And then it's off to Hawaii for Bob's special trip. So Trooper Casey, thank you again. God bless you. We appreciate it. And you folks on Twitter, goodbye, everybody.